Good morning, good morning, good morning, everybody. Happy Tuesday morning. It is April the 6th. Yep, April the 6th. About 7:55 a.m. Headed to Salt Lake City. It looks like maybe they got some snow or something last night. I don't know, because the signs, the direction I'm going, has either snow on it or some really thick frost, because some of the signs you can't even see it. It's so thick. But the roads here are fine. There's nothing on the roads. The roads are dry. The shoulder's a little wet, a little moist. But the signs itself, it looks like it's either some really heavy frost, or maybe they had a little snow last night. A little wet snow that collected on the signs. But anyways, good morning. So we are, like I said, on our way to Salt Lake. That load yesterday, I don't remember what I told you yesterday. So we were coming into Portland to drop off one load, and then going and picking up another load at the terminal. That load that we went to pick up, that trailer was in bad shape. I don't see how that driver got that trailer from Washington to there. I was doing my pre-trip inspection on my trailer, and it was just a whistling Dixie back there with sound like there was a leak. I couldn't tell if it was a tire leak or if it was a line, or what kind of leak it was, but I knew that it was draining my air tanks pretty quick. The truck was keeping up with it, but it was having trouble keeping up. And if it's leaking that much, it's only a matter of time, a ticking time bomb before a line blows, which would cause those tires to lock and create some incidents. So I wasn't about to have it. So I ended up taking that trailer over to the shop, and the guy's like, "Oh, it sounds like it is maybe just a regulator that needs to be adjusted." I said, "Okay, well, whatever we can do, because it's pulling quite a bit of air." And he got under there and he's like, "No, I hear the whistling. It's not a regulator. I actually hear a leak." I said, "Okay." At that time, he let me know he was tone deaf a little bit, so he didn't hear it until he got closer. So he had me back trailer into the bay, and he started working on it. And he came out and he's like, "I fixed 4 leaks and it's still whistling." He's like, "I don't know where it is. It's possibly a tire, but it wasn't." He did slow the leaks down, but we still could hear a leak. So he had the tire tech come over and take a look at it. Tires were fine. One of his colleagues came over and was like, "Oh, it's right here on this hose." Well, he wasn't able to hear where that leak was coming from, but anyhow, it had been a hose that was rubbing and had rubbed through, and really it was at any point would have burst, which would have locked our brakes. So this is why it's so important to do pre-trips, not only when you're picking up the trailer, but every time you stop to do a walk around the trailer, because at any time something could happen to create a dangerous situation with your trailer. And when you're going 65 on the highway and you have an airline go, well, the air is what keeps the brakes open, okay? So if that air supply stops, then that releases a spring to the brakes, and the trailer tires are going to lock, because the parking brake, emergency brake, should come onto the trailer. A couple things. I mean, it's not so bad that, if it was wet or icy roads, that could be really bad. But the thing that's going to happen is it's going to make those tires stop. The driver may feel it, but if you're not watching, your tires are not moving. You're dragging your trailer. That's creating friction, which could create a tire fire, which is, it takes tons and tons of water to put out a tire fire. And it's just, yeah. So it's so important to make sure that you're doing your walk around, checking your lights, checking your tires, listening for any kind of air leaks, watching your gauges. These are some of the things that are so important in this industry to do. It's kind of interesting that sometimes some of the trailers that we go to pick up, I don't know if it's the drivers are just too lazy to put in a maintenance report on those trailers, because they had to have had these issues while they had them, right? So, I mean, okay, I can see a flat tire, especially on an empty that's been sitting for a while. That tire might be flat, or it might have had a slow leak. Okay, I get that. But like some of the other issues, like the air, we've been running into quite a few that have air leaks. And then we just do the macro so that they can send somebody out to repair those. Tire issues, light issues. You know, you can have one marker light out on your trailer without getting a DOT citation, but if you have two or more, or if it's a brake light or a flasher that's out, that's a violation. That's a citation. That's money out of your pocket, not out of the company's pocket, out of the driver's pocket, because that's our responsibility to check those to make sure that our equipment is operating the way it should be. Part of holding a CDL is understanding that there are certain laws and regulations that us as drivers have to follow. If I find something and that is not roadworthy, I can refuse that load until they correct it, because really that's money out of my pocket, and that's on my license. That's points on me. So it's super important that people take the time and review. I mean, good truckers do that, but being at truck stops, I see a lot of new truckers that just hop in their truck and go. And it's like, so you just got done on your 10-hour, and you're just going to get up, and you, first of all, you're parked. I've seen and heard too many stories about, you know, I don't know why people don't like Swift, other than Swift is a company that hires people, trains people, and puts new drivers out. With inexperience, you're going to have some issues. Get it. I've had 2 preventable accidents in the time that I've been driving. Within 2 months of me starting. I've really learned from those, and my awareness is peaked, and there's certain things that I wasn't aware of that now I really watch. Okay, one was a backing incident where I wasn't able to see my blind side, and I bumped another truck's mirror and broke his mirror. The other one was a turning, a left turn where I didn't have enough room, and I should have stopped and made sure that everybody was clear of me, but instead I was turning thinking that this guy was going to stop because I was going to cut across his turn lane because I had limited turning space from directing us off the highway for an accident. But as I was going, he continued to roll, and then he stopped when it was already going to be an immediate, it was, I will say it was probably more than, it was both of our problems, right? Probably more mine. I should have been more aware of, I saw my tire was going to cross over, but he was still rolling, so I figured, okay, if a smart person sees, hey, that is going to cross over my lane, I need to stop early, but obviously he didn't, whatever. So I have those 2 preventable accidents, then now it's on my record for, I think it's 3 years or something, I don't know. But the thing is I don't want those. So the same thing, so anyhow, what I was going to talk about was, I've heard that drivers not liking Swift will come and pull the kingpin lock, so that as you get ready to leave, it drops your trailer on the ground and pulls your glad hands and your hoses off and stuff. So it's super important. I mean, the newer trucks, like our truck, you can't pull that. You have to do it with a switch inside the cab. But still, walking around checking. Next thing I heard about is they'll pull your tandem lever. So as you start to go, your tandems are moving around. ratio and how that trailer tracks. So doing your pre-trip after you've stopped to make sure that, number one, nothing has happened to your trailer, your tires, suspension, brakes, airlines while you're driving. Number two, make sure that nobody has done something to your trailer which could cause a problem. Plus, most of our loads are high-value loads, so we should be making sure that nobody's tried to tamper with the trailer. Make sure that the trailer seals are there. Hey, what's up, Boo? Hi, Becky. Those are important things to do whenever you stop. So I see a lot of the new drivers that just are not doing that. Yeah, it looks like they might have got a little snow last night. The roads have a little ice on them. I just saw a plow go through. So anyways, so that's important to make sure that we're doing that. So anyhow, skipping all the way back now that I've gone out in left field, so that load that we picked up, I took it in and had that 5 air leaks fixed on the trailer. Their trailer now was in good repair. But on the paperwork, the scale ticket said, and those weights were way off. They were not legal weights. They said that they didn't rescale, but all we need to do is move the tandem back 4 holes to make it legal. Well, we were going into California, and California has what's called a bridge law, which your tandems can only be a certain distance apart. And it was going to put us past that, and so we could not go into California with the trailer. So we had to call in. Well, I actually went to a scale and rescaled to make sure that that was the case. Once we found out that we weren't able to scale that trailer to be California legal, I had to call in and say, hey, on this load that's going from Oregon to California, I can't get it California legal, so I can't pull this. So basically what that means is that has to go back to the shipper. They have to rework the trailer, redistribute the weight inside so that the weights on each of the tandems and the axles are correct. And within the correct distance on that bridge law for California. So because of that, we ended up sitting there for 4 hours waiting for them to decide, did they want us to take it back to Washington, back to the shipper, which was not our responsibility. So they were going to have to pay us because we were not the original drivers. They were going to have to pay us miles and everything to run it up there. Or they're going to have us just re-T-call it there and find out what Target wanted to do because of the Target load. So finally, they decided that they were going to have us T-call the load there, which I pretty much figured that they were going to do. And then they gave us another Target load that was supposed to go to Pueblo. But instead, because if we get to Pueblo, Colorado, as a team, there's not team loads that's going to be there. We're going to get stuck. So what the planner did, when I called and talked to the planner, I'm like, look, they gave us this load from Oregon to Pueblo. We're not going to be able to get a load out of Pueblo. What can you do? He's like, go ahead and take the load, and I'm going to have you drop it in our terminal in Salt Lake. So that's what we're doing. We're on the way there now. Then from Salt Lake, what they'll do is they'll be able to get us a load down to Southern California, which will then get us our across the U.S. load, probably from Southern California to like South Carolina or something. It's usually a Ross load or something like that. So, you know, it's good as long as I'm rolling and I'm not sitting around for a long time waiting. That's right, Becky. Pre-trips at all time. You can never check it enough to be safe. Anyways, so that's kind of what's going on. Now I'm just waiting to see what they're going to plan us out of Salt Lake City with. And still haven't got our vaccine appointments yet. Still waiting on my sister to get that in for us so that I can also try to pair up at the same time and try to find doctor's appointments for Alex and I. He needs to do his follow-up on his blood pressure medicine testosterone. I have to go in for a blood test because going from Progressive to Swift, Progressive was covering my testosterone. Swift is not covering it because they want proof that I need the testosterone. So that means I have to go in for blood tests. Now we're getting into a blowing dust area. This is interesting. Flip this around. Very interesting. Blowing dust, which is making mud on the road, on the wet road. Anyway, now it's cleared up. Looks like there's probably some rain or something. It's probably going to be some snow. Hopefully, we can get lower altitude so it's just rain. I'm tired of dealing with snow this year. Anyways, so what else is new? Really, that's about it. Alex drove last night. I got up, started driving this morning. It was, I've been driving for about 3.5 hours. We have about 3 hours left to get to Salt Lake, depending on what this weather's going to look like up here. If it's going to start snowing and slow us down, or if the roads are going to stay good, because right now the roads are good. The wet is on the shoulder, so the actual road itself is dry, in a good condition. So let me see, anything else? I think that's about it right now. I think yesterday I talked about stopping and having Easter dinner with the fam. I really enjoyed that. Yeah, I think that's about it. So it was nice to have a couple of y'all stop in this morning and say hello. But anyways, alright guys, well, record temperatures. Did you guys in Phoenix, did you get to 100 on Sunday? I know that was going to be a record, and it was forecasted to be 100. It's supposed to be warm all the way through, all the way up to Salt Lake, but heck, they got snow up here where I'm at on I-84 headed out of Boise. So, and we just were up here on Saturday and there was no snow, so all this is new. So they got a heat wave followed by a cold snap or something. I don't know. But anyways, alright guys, well, I'm going to jump off here. Love y'all. Be safe, please. Do your part. If you don't want to get vaccinated, make sure that you're wearing that mask. Washing your hands, social distance. We're almost through this. More and more states are opening up for everybody. About 2 million, I think I heard on the news this morning, about an average of 2 million people being vaccinated a day now. So, you know, we're getting there. We're getting there. So, all right, guys, I love you much. Be safe. Talk to you soon.